As I mentioned after the game, and watching the film, truly a group effort, great team victory. We really played strong in all three phases. In particular, I thought we were very physical up front, both the offensive line and the defensive line. I also thought, obviously, Benny had a huge game, got some very, very tough yards, and that's a team effort. The receivers did a phenomenal job blocking on the perimeter. The O-line was physical, and the tight ends really did their job as well. Then created some big play opportunities in the pass game. Also, defensively, it started with our D-line playing a very good game, being very strong at the point of attack. And then I thought the big difference was our corners. I felt going into the game that would be a matchup that we'd have to win, and we really covered extremely well on the perimeter. So did some very good things, but there's so much more that this team can do. We can play better than we did, and that's our goal. It's always 24 hours. We enjoyed that victory. It was a victory. It was a long time coming for our fans and for our players, and it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate their effort. And now it's time to put that behind us after we watch this film today and move on to the next opponent in Murray, and playing at home and looking to go out and play a good, strong game, play a clean football game, and play the way we're capable of.
Quentin Bohanna was out for quite a bit of time. How did Marquand McCall play in his place, and what's Bohanna's prognosis?
Yeah, Quentin had an ankle. He's had a couple these ankles, both of them the past 2-3 weeks, and they've just been, minor. But when you're that big and he goes into a game, it's been bothering him a little bit. So he wasn't at full strength. So we decided to put him. He couldn't play anymore. And then Tamir and Marquand did some good things. So Marquand played well. He took a few reps off of Tamir and did a solid job while he's in there.
Do you expect Quentin back this week, or is
I hope so. Again, it's been day to day, so he's on there on the depth chart just because we'll see how he practices this week. It's been the type of ankle injury where he's been able to practice after a day or two's rest, but I'll see how it goes throughout this week.
What does that say about your depth at that position at this point? That you can, obviously Josh has been out and he goes down and you're still able to.
Yeah, it's been really good. So, yeah, you're right, especially with Josh already being down and then Quentin going down, two of our best defensive linemen, but the rest of the guys really played good. We played 8 guys inside this past week, and they all did their job and did a good job, and we're more disruptive than we've been in the past.
Mark, in a way, does it show progress that you can win a game like that without playing a perfect game, having penalties and all those things?
It does. It shows, that as I've mentioned many times, you've sat here and listened to me talk for years. I mean, you have to have a physicality about you. Of course, you have to create big plays and do good things at skill position, but you have to be physical to win consistently in this league. And I thought that was a great example of it. And again, it gets boring, but we just talk about that. I don't even want to use the word process, but for us, just constantly putting ourselves in a position to do good things, and eventually you're going to break through and win those games. And it was a good example of that this week.
Mark, how do you build physicality in a team? Has there been one thing or a couple of things that have really made you be able to take step forwards in that regard?
I think it's just a constant process since I've gotten here. Coach Edmond and Mark Hill, our strength guys, do a wonderful job, and it's just about having that mentality, and it takes it takes time. It takes recruitment and development. I've said that from day one. I mean, you recruit big, athletic-looking guys and develop them into SEC offensive, defensive linemen, and you're starting to see that. But it just comes from a mentality and a mentality in the development process to handle it in the weight room, that conditioning, and to play with a strong mentality.
Mark, this is the second week in a row where at halftime you've had to depend on the maturity of your team to come back out and get things done. Will you talk about the growth in the team there?
Yeah, I think at halftime again, it was a great example of the guys just going in there and talking amongst the staff, making some adjustments, and just coming out and worrying about ourselves. And that's what we concentrated on, of just us doing our job and doing the little things. And again, taking it one play at a time, and the offense taking it and scoring there. Start the second half was a big drive, and it shows the attitude of our football team.
Mark, has there been an interaction with a fan or a former coach, a colleague or something since the game that has kind of stood out to you?
Well, a lot of people, and it's meant a lot to myself and our team, to see that, and I think people recognize that the work that these players put in and the staffs put in to put them in a position to win a game like that. So it's all gratifying and greatly appreciated. And I did get back to all like 250 people, and but then it's time to put it behind you and worry about the present and what we're going to do today to put ourselves in a position to win this week and improve our football team. And so it was a fun 24 hours, but it's time to move on.
Did you say you did get back to them or you didn't?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I think I got back to the room.
Was that all text messages? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, and again, you appreciate the people and coaches and people known for years, and they recognize them, what it took
Was
to
there
put
anybody
yourself in.
you heard from that you weren't expecting? Or?
Well, there were. I mean, there's nobody I want to mention, but it's just, it was good. I think a lot of people recognize that, the work that went into that to put yourself in a position to play the way we did. And again, that's what I'm most proud of this game was just the way we did it. And just being, again, methodical, being tough, being hard-nosed, and handling adversity, and taking care of, the game one play at a time, and when opportunities came, we made big plays.
Talked about how special it was to give the game ball to John Schlarman after the game. He also mentioned he had a game ball for Pascal as well. When he received that, what was that moment like for him?
Yeah, we haven't, Josh will get his today.
Okay.
So we have a team meeting this afternoon. But John, it was a special moment because as I was talking to the team, there was a lot of people to single out, or a lot of different groups. There was a defensive line, offensive line, Benny, Terry, a lot of guys played a good football game. But the tone was set by the offensive line, and they always include the tight ends in that. And the way what John's going through, and the way he's handling this, the way he's handling adversity in his life, is something that we all respect. And for his players to perform the way they did and the way they care about him just says a lot. So I just thought it was fitting to recognize John, and I think all our players really felt good about doing that. And so John's a special guy, very talented, but also is a great example of how you handle the adversity in your life.
Cash was really demonstrative, taking up for you specifically after the game, and that picture of him picking you up off the ground. What does that moment mean? What does it mean when your players say
Well,
this?
whether it's good or bad, I never want him to ever worry about handling anything for me. And I've been through thick and thin. That's what I get paid for. But the moment itself, the authenticity of that feeling of all of us together is something that's you can't even measure what that means to you, because that's what you do it for them, and that's why we work hard for our whole football family. So that is special and authentic, and appreciate Cash and our whole team, but I'll never flinch, so they don't have to worry about me.
Bunchy was named SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. When he had that block on third down, is that one of those you showed to the whole team and just put it on repeat?
Bunchy did a heck of a job. Tony did mention he was SEC Player Offensive Lineman of the Week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he just played the inside in particular, with Drake and him. They really played good inside. And same with Logan, but he was very physical. They set the tone right from the start. We got good movement up front, and that always starts everything with the movement inside. But there are some plays that will get pointed out, from the group. but you know, it starts with a mentality and physicality about you. And I felt like they were that way from the first snap to the last.
How much easier is it to break in a new quarterback when he doesn't have to worry about getting hit?
Big deal. You heard me talk last week about the opportunity to hit big plays should we get a bit more protection. And the 3rd and 16 conversion for a touchdown is a great example of that. That was a clean pocket. He had time to sit in there, be patient, step up in it, and make a great throw, and it starts with the protection. And so that's a big deal.
Mark, how did you guys not notice David Bouvier before this season?
That's a good question. Because Charles was a lot the same way. You know, Chuck was a tough guy to replace. In that, just reliable and just tough, and you got to have a craft to play that inside position. And you know, and so you know, David, we did recognize him before, but the opportunity to play, you know, was more. And as I've mentioned also before, you know, the ability to spread people out and play with 3 and 4 wide receivers comes from just being better across the board and throwing the football, with protecting and throwing and creating plays. So with that, you know, you'll get more opportunities. Sam with getting CJ the ball, and Lynn and David and all the above.
Part of the turnovers with Terry right now is, to an extent, as he just gets more accustomed to this, is that just something you have to, I mean, you don't accept it, but know that it's going to happen a little bit.
We will continue to work on that. You know, never want him to play with any fear. You know, you want him confident in making throws and things of that nature. But you know, securing the football and fumbles is something that, you know, we cannot tolerate and won't tolerate. And so you got to continue to harp on that and be better.
He wasn't rattled by those turnovers at all? Is that similar to kind of how Steven's demeanor was?
Very much so. There was absolutely no worry in his eyes at halftime. You know, he knew they made a mistake. He was frustrated by it, but you know, he's got a very calm demeanor about him, much like Steve. And you know, he had a lot of confidence in himself that he was going to go out and play well in the second half.
What kind of a weapon has Max Duffy become for you? I mean, just in these first 2 games, his ability to kind of, you know, do the things you need him to do.
Yeah, he's you know, a guy that, you know, is very talented, and you know, he's been very, very helpful for us, and just he's a confident player, and he's talented. He can punt the ball a lot of different ways, and you know, he has a good feel for not playing much of football.
Mark, you mentioned your D-backs, and they kind of set the tone as well early, I thought. On Florida's touchdown pass, was there a communications breakdown there? The short pass there, I guess in the second half?
No, we were in zero coverage, and so we got rubbed, and you know, we definitely could play it better. There's different ways we could play that in space and traffic, you know, and pass those off, and we didn't play it very good, that's for sure. But no, there's no communication. Just we constantly talk about urgency and just being urgent and getting the calls, getting lined up, communicating how you're going to play things, and you know, we harped on that all week in a hostile environment, how you're going to handle, you know, the communication offensively and defensively, and really we were very good in that kind of environment because it got very loud, and I thought we handled it very, very well. There's obviously a lot of plays where we can do better.
You mentioned that it's been a fun 24 hours, but now it's time to move on. How do you make sure that you don't have a letdown after such a big win?
Yeah, I think it's you know, talking to the team about what our standards are, and you know, again, every team is different, every year is different. I really love this group and the way they handle things, and you know, I expect them to handle it that way, and going back to worrying about us and creating our own standards and living up to them, and we'll have a good discussion about that today.
There's a couple of young players, Ali, McCall, Square, who have played some in the first 2 weeks. How important is it for them to get some significant snaps on Saturday?
It is important to develop our younger players, and you see them when they go in there, they make the mistakes of inexperienced players, and so there's no replacing game reps, and so it's always good for building our program to play some guys that are backups or younger players.
Mark, back to the offensive line, you lose Landon, a week before the season starts, but first 2 games haven't missed a beat on the line. Is that how well those replacements have played, or how much have the other guys and more veterans helped those 2 young offensive tackles?
A little bit of both. It helps that the offensive line has such great experience other than left tackle. That helps a great deal, and again, I think helps with the standards that we have at offensive line and how we play and having a physicality about you, and the communication has been very good in that group, and that comes from experience. And so when you're breaking in a young guy, it does help. And the other 2 guys have stepped in and done a really nice job. It's nice to have 2 guys there to unload a little bit of pressure on them and to alternate series and get some rest, and it speaks to the volume or the depth of our team, and again, Coach Schlerman doing such a good job of teaching those guys and putting them in a position to be successful.
Much has been made about the turnovers. What about the penalties? How do you address those?
Yeah, our team is playing aggressive, and you can handle some. Some of the pre-snap ones are not acceptable, and we really worked that hard last week. And so we've got to do a better job. But some penalties are going to happen. Aggressive penalties are going to happen. I don't think the face mask was malicious. He got on him so quick. That happened, and a couple of touch fouls in the secondary. That's going to happen. We can't create space, or they're going to beat us all day with catching the ball. Those are some talented wideouts. So you have to be, tight coverage and be aggressive, and you get a flag, but we got to tighten down and play as clean as we can there, but with competing and contesting every throw. But the pre-snap ones are the ones we got to get cleaned up.
Chris had one of those last week. How did you see him respond this week?
Yeah, he did a better job. He did a good job, and he had another one this week, and that comes from the position on the football, on the face mask that he had. That was avoidable, and there's just the urgency and just the feel for body position and the structure of the defense of where he should be positioned. It should have been a cleaner tackle.
Mark, I've been watching you on ESPN all weekend. On the last play when you were going down the sideline, you were aware the ball was live?
Well, yeah, I thought it was live because I didn't hear a whistle. Now the PA guy came on, so that confused some of the players. I don't know if they heard it or not. I mean, it's hard to understand, but that's going to go on my football IQ tape this week, because he was an inch from going in the first time. Just run across and then come back. So I got to get on my man Devontae on that one, because he's going to stop. I mean, he couldn't go that extra 6 inches. Put the ball across. Devontae's a great kid, getting some quality reps in that game, but yeah, we got to finish that play and then hand it to the official and go from there, because you have to play through the whistle.
Are you seeing the balance on offense that you want to see at this point with the passing game and the running game?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we've had great balance. We were more effective in the pass game, but we're going to continue to work on that, continue to get better, and that's what will help us continue to have success, is having great balance. When you're as physical as we can with the talent that Benny has, and again, AJ did a good job. We got to get him more reps and get him, and Cy has a different. He brings a little something different to the table as well. We got to get AJ and Saheem involved in the run game, because AJ is really playing at a high level as well. When you can run the ball like that, it creates opportunities, and we got to continue to work on that.
During camp, you talked a lot about the need to take the top off and hit some more big plays. Got one to win, got him in the end zone. How nice was it to see one of those?
It was really important, because we've been talking about that and stressing that and working on that, and that created I don't know, there's never one play. You don't know what one play changes a game, but that was certainly a big play, and something we need to do. So to hit a 54-yarder on 3rd and 16 over the top is a big part of it. Then we had opportunity on an early down, 1st or 2nd down, with a clean pocket, with the protection that we had in, with a little, giving a little vision to the quarterback. That was the one we threw down the field and had incomplete. But we need to hit that as well. But we're real close on that one as well. And so I thought, protection, changing it up, finding ways to get a clean pocket, and receivers ran better. Just running, just sprinting, just playing fast. It was helpful. And I thought those guys really played unselfish. They played really tough on the perimeter, very physical. And we'll continue to work on the pass game and getting opportunities.
Mark, it seems like these first 2 games, the defense has done a good job not giving up long chunk plays. What do you think's been the reason for that?
I think it's just been the structure and the guys being in position, in second level support, playing with vision. They got some big plays late in that game, and we could do a better job there. I don't know what exactly I was going to look that up, but the actual running back runs, and predictable, our mixed downs, we were very stout. Late they got some when we were playing, coverages that you had to play, not so much a backed up prevent. So don't everybody get on my case about that. But you have to be smart. You have to be smart. You can't give up. You can't give up a chunk play. So there's things we could do better in that when you have a lead and not giving up big chunks in the run game. So if you just look at the running back yards and mixed downs, I thought we were very stout. And it comes from just everybody doing their job and everybody playing hard.
We're talking about the receivers and being tough on the perimeter. I've heard coaches say because so many teams are running spread type offenses, you have to have receivers who can block on the perimeter to be able to make that go. Is that true of your offense, and how much better have your receivers gotten in that department?
Yeah, they've gotten much better. And again, it starts with an unselfish mentality of really playing in a team concept and playing hard on the perimeter. On the bubble screens where Lynn caught one and made a big play out of it, when it was set up to have maybe a 5-6 yard gain, and he made one guy miss and got whatever it was, 15 or so. That started with a great block on the perimeter on his man, and then Lynn making another one miss. But those plays are there when you're running the ball good, and there's going to be some of that opportunity. And that you watch football, that's everywhere. The quick bubble and being able to get some, getting some cheap yards that way is something that needs to be second nature to us in our offense. But also in the running back plays, with the way we're creating big plays in that run game, that's down the field blocking, and that comes from a strong mentality and a work ethic and being unselfish. And so you appreciate that from those guys.
Martin, for our friends in Western Kentucky, what do you see about Murray State?
Murray, is doing some good things. They spread the ball out, and they spread some with their splits and create some different looks, and are doing a good job. They got off to a tough start here, but they're a good football team, well coached, and we have to play well. And as always, no matter if we're playing Florida or Murray, it's about us and the way we prepare and the way we play, and that's what we're looking for this week.
Mark, this is the second week in a row that an opposing player cast some doubt about Benny Snell's ability. When you hear that, you pretty well know that Benny's about to do something special.
Well, Benny is going to play that way no matter what. I think, again, if it gives him a bit extra motivation, good, but I don't think he really needs that, because he's going to play with that mentality no matter who we're playing. And that's a great quality by him. So whatever it is. I'm not, I want our team to worry about us, not anybody we're playing. It's about us and our standards and the way we play and how we function. And so that's what we concentrate on.
You've recruited quite a bit of kids from Florida with the last 2 signing classes. How important, or how much does it help you to beat Florida in recruiting down there?
I think it definitely helps us in recruiting Florida, but I think it helps us recruiting in general. And because it was a big opportunity for us against a ranked opponent on the road, and shows where this program's heading and what we're doing, and most importantly, kind of the mentality of this football team. And as they get to know it, like I know it, it's a special group, and you want to be a part of that type of environment.
Were you surprised at a couple fans at the airport to greet you guys?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that appreciated that, and our players really did. That meant a lot to our players to meet us at, what was it, 3 or 3:30 or whatever it was, and to have people there, and I certainly made it a point to walk out and say hello and thank you to them, and our team did as well, and that meant a lot to us. And again, with that streak, I've always addressed you guys and hit it head on and saying it is important, without a doubt, to our fan base, and to our team. But that wasn't our full concentration. Our concentration was about us, our preparation, and the way we play, and continuing to build this team and continuing to play. If you do that, you're going to put yourself in a position, and that's what I meant. That's what I'm most concerned about, is us and the way we play, and the way we prepare, and the way we build our program to put ourselves in a position to beat Florida and to beat anybody we play. So that's what I meant by that. Is I've always said it's important. I said it, at the beginning of the year to one of y'all. Is it important to beat Florida? Yeah, but that's not just our sole concentration. Our concentration's on us and the way we play and the way we prepare. And if you do that, good things are going to happen.
Mark, that was a big thing to get checked off your bucket list, being in Florida, not just for you personally, but for a lot of people. What would be the next big thing to get checked off that bucket list?
Just like I said with that, it is important, but it's about how we play and how we build it. And so if we're a better football team, if we're a stronger football team, if we play good, we'll beat them, and then it's on to the next game. And this week it's Murray, so it's about us and the way we prepare, and we respect all of our opponents, but we don't fear any, and we just worry about the way we play. And you got to have respect for the game, but it comes from preparation and respect for your opponents.
What are some of the ways you've seen Cash grow into that role? I know it's 2 games, but he seems to have sort of become the face of that defense in a lot of ways.
I think it does. It comes from him having a great example of Courtney, playing in front of him for years, and the leadership qualities of Courtney. But Cash, first it comes from a want to, a desire, a passion to play good for his team. It's not so much his worry about how Cash plays. It's a matter of how much our team plays when Cash is in there. If we have that mentality with all of our players, then good things are going to happen. Because it's a mentality, it's very unselfish, and it's important for him, for us to be successful, for the team to be successful, and that's what you're looking for.
Mark, thank you very much. Okay, last one, Lonnie.
Like you said, it seems a bit uncanny that the Brain Trust, offers Brain Trust, they would go out and find guys like Wilson. Not only just the fact that they're talented, but have the same kind of mentality of being the calm and kind of guy.
Yeah, I think.
And there's got to be some help involved there.
Well, there is, and Terry certainly has a great mentality as far as being a team player, and I really thank all of our quarterbacks for that, because that's tough in that position, because so much attention is given to it, and first of all, you have to be great around him for the quarterback to be successful, and you have to be balanced, and you do have to have that mentality, and I can say that about all of our quarterbacks, and just like Gunnar, again, preparing and being ready to step in like he had to a week ago, and continuing to worry about the team's success. And Danny is like that. He has a contagious winning attitude, and same with Walker. He's down there on scout team, giving us a great look, and we're in developing himself and getting better in his game. And so I appreciate that from all of our quarterbacks, and they all have a winning passion about them and a desire to play well for the team, and they all have a calmness about them and a confidence about them.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.